Okay, so that's day 7 complete here in Dubai for the 2025 IBA World Championships. Delighted to be joined by commentators Ronald McIntosh and Andy Clark to go over the day's boxing. Now, Andy, you had a couple of Cubans in here with different results and different performances.
Yeah, I did. I mean, they were quite similar fights. You know, we're always looking out for these two, Arlen Lopez and Hugo La Cruz, because they're double Olympic gold medalists. La Cruz is a 5-time IBA world champion. Between them, they've had well over 1,000 fights, and their medal haul and trophy haul is they need a kind of trophy wing if they were living in the same house to house it all, because it's phenomenal what they've achieved. And Lopez, I'm not totally sure if he's 100% fit, kind of aerobically, if you like. I don't think there's necessarily an injury, but he's so smart that he was still able to get past Nekran Selimov today, who I thought boxed well and pushed him really hard. Very tight, could have gone either way, and he got it. He just squeaked it. Hugo La Cruz came down on the wrong side of it against Turabek Kababalayev, who at 21 is a really good fighter. He's won a lot of stuff already, and I felt like he did deserve it. But La Cruz is still just finding a way to be really competitive at the highest level. So that in itself is impressive. And he was fuming when he didn't get the decision. So you can see that the fire very much still burns inside him. And yeah, Lopez through to the next stage. We won't be seeing any more of La Cruz, which is always a shame. But they've been at the top for such a long time. You know, it's all good things are going to come to an end at some point, I guess.
So, Ron, what was your talking point from this ring here that you commentated on?
Well, again, if Andy's referring to La Cruz not making it through as a number 4 seed at heavyweight, 92 kilograms, I had the number 3 and the number 2 seeds competing here. Emmanuel Moraes-Pla, the number 3 seed, born in Havana, relocated to Spain, has a terrific rivalry with Julio Cesar La Cruz. He was going up against his familiar rival Narek Manassian. They'd met before in the European Championships. Incident-filled bout, back and forth, but it was Reyes-Pla who got the decision to go through to the semi-finals. And then in the next contest, we saw a man who brought so many Russian fans here to the seats surrounding Ring B, and that's Muslim Gaji Magomedov, installed as the tournament number 2 seed. He's a 2-time reigning world champion, having prevailed in Yekaterinburg 2019 and the most recent edition in Tashkent. It was La Cruz who got the better of him in the Tokyo Olympic final when he went in as the reigning world champion, but he produced a really athletic, dynamic performance to get the better of Greece's Vagkan Nanit-Zanyan, who really did push him in the final round physically. You could see that he was feeling it, the effect of the man's pursuit of him in the boxing ring. But, you know, 2-time world champ, Olympic silver, European champ from Belgrade last year, and he looks to be in really good form. He stands around 6'5", he's so light on his feet. And let's not forget, he's gone over to the professional ranks, amassed a perfect record, and he's the WBA Bridgerweight champion as well, right? So here he is back in the 3-round format and remaining in contention for another push through to the final. But of course, it's number 3, Emmanuel Reyes-Pla, against the number 2 seed, Muslim Gaji Magomedov. Each of them are going to get medals, but a really good boxer is not going to make it through to the gold medal bout in the heavyweight division.
Indeed, and we saw earlier in the tournament there was a lot of success stories, but now we're getting to the business end. We're seeing the experience prevail with, you know, the Cubans, the Kazakhs, the Uzbekistanis, and the Russians.
Yeah, we are, and they're powerhouses, and that's generally the case. I mean, in my ring today, young Vyacheslav Rogozin was really good again. Koldenkov against Muxanga I thought was terrific. Muxanga, a dangerous guy, as we know, but he just boxed him really, really well and dropped him right at the very end of the fight. A fighter from another country, Paraskiv, had a devastating knockout. Something happened in my ring today which was quite interesting and just kind of brings in a discussion we don't quite have time for, but I'm going to do it anyway. I had a stoppage where Emmanuel Katema landed a really nice left hand on Fedorov of Serbia. And he went down quite hard, but he put out his hand to break his fall. His wits were about him, you know, that rigidity and tensile strength was still there. So he's not been switched off, because you can be briefly and then wake up when you hit the ground. We all know that, right? That didn't happen, and he got back up and he was fine to continue. And the referee stopped it, and he was absolutely fuming. And I understood it, because it's a quarter-final of a World Championship, and I felt like you need to give him a chance. And one thing I've been wondering in my ring is, with standing counts, I feel like give one if a punch gets a response, a physical response, and you feel like they might be a little bit hurt, because you give one because you don't want the follow-up to get them flattened. That's fighter safety, isn't it? If you land a punch and it's a nice solid shot and it gets no reaction, you don't really need to get involved. And that was kind of extended to that stoppage. Big left hand hit him, put his glove out, got back up, ready to keep going. The referee called it off, and he couldn't believe it. I mean, you've seen a lot of this. It's tricky, isn't it?
It's very tricky indeed. And again, what the IBA do is part of extensive training for officials, for judges, for referees. They're always looking at and reviewing these things. There is a difference between 3-round boxing and professional boxing, as we know, and fighter safety, boxer safety is paramount in the 3-round format. But it's something that can be considered, it's something that can be tweaked. We've heard Al Siesta from IBA Pro talking about the gloves and how the boxers can now make a fist, and that's having a difference in the way the contests are being conducted. So because of that, maybe they need to continue to look at the evaluation and assessment and how the rules are implemented, right? There's an extensive set of rules that you and I have to study on a regular when we come to these things, because changes and tweaks do happen. And even though it may not necessarily be a change in the rules, a change in emphasis could well bring a change as to how they are assessed and implemented by the referees.
Well, the drama is picking up as the stakes also pick up, and the boxing does continue here tomorrow for day 8.